Good afternoon, everyone. This side Sanjay Suman from ICMI Social Auditor Organization. So, welcome to our program, Competency Building. Competency Building Lecture Series, Module Social Impact Assessment in Standards. So, today's our guest faculty is CMA Yogesh Gupta sir. He has already joined, and we discuss the topic today. The thematic areas social impact assessment standard on promoting healthcare, including mental health care, and social impact assessment standard on promoting education, social impact assessment standard on promoting gender equality, empowerment movement. So I welcome to the Yogesh Gupta sir for this program. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon. So now up to you, sir.
Program on social impact assessment standards. So before we start on the standards, are some more registrations there or only these many people are there? You are on mute.
20 people are there.
Okay. So so far only 7 people have joined.
Yeah.
So we can have a informal chat for another 5 minutes, and after that we will be starting our topic
Sure,
for the
sir.
day. And let us have a common interaction between us, whosoever is available as of now. So you can unmute yourself and we can discuss about the social audit requirements, why social audit, what is social audit. So any one of you have handled any social audit requirements so far? Have you handled any NGOs activities so far? I'm not able to hear you, Mr. Kameshwara. You're not audible.
No, not yet. Subhojit here.
So how many of you are aware of about the social audit? Okay, I think it's
Yes,
a
we
new
are
subject for. Yeah,
aware
please.
about it, but I don't know how many are actually have got an opportunity to conduct any audit. I too do not have any opportunities so far to conduct any audit.
Okay.
I have recently qualified, but not done any audit yet.
Good. So let us first understand that what is a social audit, because without that
Are
it
able
will
to
not be of any use that what we are going to discuss about the social audit standards. Yeah, somebody was talking something.
are able to hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I just changed the setting. That's all. Thank you.
So before starting on social audit standards, let us see that what do you mean by social audit? Any idea about what is social audit? Why it is called social audit actually?
because it is spent, the amount spent for the benefit of society, and what impact it has given on the society is to know. For that only the social audit is conducted.
Basically, this audit is meant for NGOs, the non-government organizations, or the non-profit organizations who are taking some activities for the benefit of society as a charitable activity. Since it is going to be corporatized now in a different system because of the evolution of social stock exchange system, we will be discussing a little bit about social stock exchange also. So the point is that why social audit, or what is social audit and why it is required? Let us understand first for another 5-10 minutes, then we will start on the standards. So a social audit is nothing but a systematic evaluation of the social impact, effectiveness, transparency, or accountability of any activity or a program or a project conducted by a social enterprises. Now, what is a social enterprise? A social enterprise, as per the definition, is a company. It can be a Section 8 company. It can be a trust. It can be a society registered under their respective acts. Only these type of three forms are considered as social enterprises. If they are doing something for the society, then these can be considered under the activities of a social enterprise. Now, there are again 17 SDGs which are provided under the UN resolution and also under the CSR initiatives which can be undertaken by them. Basically, it includes almost every welfare activity except the some religious activity or something like that. So the purpose of social audit is that it will assess whether the social objects for which the activity has been carried out, whether the objective of that activity has been achieved or not. The funds which have been collected for that activity, whether those funds have been utilized properly or not. The activity has been for a specific target of audience or the people. Now, whether those people, we call them as the beneficiaries or the communities, whether it has impacted their life or their family's life or their status in the social sector in their community. That is the purpose of social audit. And whether it is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDGs. There are 17 SDGs in which we have to align all these activities. So we have whenever we are taking up some activity, it has to fall under one of these 17 SDGs. Now, these social audit standards, what is the social audit standards? It is basically providing a framework for planning or conducting or evaluating or reporting social impact assessments in a particular way for a particular goal. See, like we are doing financial audits or cost audits or tax audits. We know how it is to be done. There is a format in which we have to give our report. So far, for the social audit, we do not have any such formats. We do not have any, standards for that. Now, these draft standards have been framed by the ICMI SAO and is been submitted to the SEBI for consideration. But they will be notified only after it is being submitted by the other two institutions, that is ICSI and ICAI. They are yet to submit these draft standards to the SEBI. Now let us see that what is the need for social audit standards. Why these audit standards are important. First of all, it is to ensure the accountability, to verify whether the funds are used for the intended social purpose or not. One should be accountable for the funds collection as well as for its utilization. And also to prevent misuse or diversion of the resources. Then secondly, it is enhancing the transparency. If there is a transparent system of collection and spending, there is a proper documentation, and it is reflected by way of certain disclosures, then there is a level of a transparency between the donor and the donee, and which develops the trust of the donor in the donee. So, if you can create a credible and evidence-based reporting in the system, then it will develop this kind of a trust, which will benefit the NGOs more rather than the donor. Today, you being a donor, you do not know how to whom you are donating the money. You know, this is the organization, this is doing this much, nothing beyond that. Now, how much money you have given, out of that, how much money has been utilized, what impact has made for that purpose or not, we are not aware of. This is the change which is being brought by way of introducing the concept of registration of NGOs with the social stock exchange. Because once you are registered with the social stock exchange, there are certain compliances, especially with respect to the collection and spending of money, especially when you are getting a social impact report, which will be available on the site of the NSE, SSE, where you can see that what impact has been made on the society, how much money, who are the donors, where it has been spent, how much and who has been impacted by that money. So it measures real social impact. It focuses not only on the expenditure. Money can be langar lagate hain. You organize a langar and distribute the food, that is nothing. But it is just an expenditure. But if you are focusing not only on expenditure, but on the actual outcome, you have to see the changes in the people's lives. You have to evaluate that. Then you will come to know. Right? Supports sustainable development goals. Okay. So as I said, that it has to align with the social initiatives with the global development priorities. Whatever these 16, 17 goals which have been defined, the activity which you are doing, it has to align with one of these 17 social goals. If we are doing all these kind of things, it improves governance. It encourages ethical practices, strengthens institutional credibility, right? And it facilitates for better decision making also. Because if the data is there, then you can make certain changes in your policy for improvement, what you have done. Because so far, whatever we have been doing, it is under the umbrella. Nobody else knows of that what is going on. But once the entire data is in public place, then everybody knows that what is going on, and so that you are accountable, and you also know that whether this policy which we have adopted as of now is improving something or not, or what are the scope for the improvement, so that we can redesign our ineffective programs, or we can design better programs for our activities. And the best of all these things results into is that the stakeholders' participation is strengthens. As of today, as a NGO, you are able to reach only a selected people to whom you know. Once it is registered on the social stock exchange, the data is available on the NSE SSE that how many NGOs are registered there, what activity they are doing. You can call them, you can donate them, you can ask for their credentials, so that you take a very informative decision in giving them the money for them. So all these stakeholders connected with the activity, whether it is beneficiaries or the government bodies or the NGOs or the communities at large or the funding agencies, everybody is, all the stakeholders on this sphere will get benefit of the system. So these standards, now coming back to the social audit standards. Now, these social audit standards, as far as I have gone through, there is a lot of things are common, because the basic things, basic requirement is same, except that some specific requirement pertaining to the specific goal will be different. Otherwise, the format and everything will be more or less same. Like in a report, there are certain components like introduction. Introduction will be about the NGO or their activities, objectives, what that NGO is taking up, what is their scope of activity, stakeholders identification will be there, data collection and analysis, because whatever the data is collected by you during this making a social impact report, you collect a lot of data. So you have to do that data collection, and after that collection, you have to do the analysis part. After analysis is done, then evaluation parameters, you have to fix up certain parameters. Key parametrics, you have to define certain key parametrics or the KPIs for each activity or each person. And there will be certain reporting requirements. So these are the common things which will be there in every social audit report, right? So this was all before we start on the social audit standards. Now let us move to the what do you call the draft social audit standards. I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible? I think it is not visible as of now.
Yes, it is visible.
It is
Visible.
visible.
Because I can't see at my own.
You will not be able to see it, sir.
Then how will I go ahead?
No, you should be able to see definitely.
I should be able to see. Anyway, I will open it in a separate link. So is it moving?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the social standards, draft, exposure draft social audit standards, which have been released by the ICMI Social Auditors Organization. Similar drafts is yet to be prepared by the other two professional bodies, that is CA and CS. So table of contents is basically the standards for each goal. And as I said, there are 16 goals they have covered here as per the CSR activities. And for each of them, there are roughly about 2-3 pages for each activity. So we are talking about the first SAS, that is on eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and inequality. So we have already discussed about the social audit report, that what it should cover. So as I said, that social audit report should inter alia contain the following information: details of the program, background of the social organization, purpose and objectives, period covered, scope of social audit, stakeholders involved, process followed in carrying out social audit, efficiency and effectiveness of the funds, key observations, list of supporting documents to be collected and to be kept for our own records, recommendations. We can see that how much it has been effective, and we can give our recommendations for making certain changes in the policies. The social audit report should be fair, objective, without any bias, and it should be properly worded and structured. Now coming to specifically for social standard 1, that is eradicating hungry and poverty and food. So in this case, what could be the evaluation parameters? We broadly discussed that what would be the framework of the social audit report. Now, what as a specific requirement for this social audit standard 1, the features for the eradicating poverty, hunger, and all, for that, what is the evaluation parameters that we are going to discuss now? The questions and information for social impact assessment. One thing more, that here instead of social audit, it has been changed to social impact assessment. It is no more called as social audit. In view of the same, that why it has been changed from social audit to social impact assessment is because audit gives us sort of a different kind of feeling in the customer, as if we are investigating them. Where one side they are doing some NGO activity, and the top of it you are coming to audit us. So instead of calling that social audit, we call it as a social impact assessment. So whatever activity they have carried out, what impact it has been made on the beneficiaries or the society at large. So it encompasses following facets and dimensions: access to food, logistic architecture for procurement, storage, transportation, allocation, and delivery of food supplies. Okay, provision of sufficient, nutritionally adequate, wholesome, and safe food. Advocacy, advisory services, awareness campaigns to eradicate hunger, poverty, and malnutrition in the target area. Capacity building of the farmers, extension functionaries, sustainable food production, storage and distribution practices, food wastages, and efficiency of supply chains. Input use efficiency and resource conservation technologies, soil quality and adaptation, extreme weather, drought, flooding, other contingencies, promote sustainable food production methodologies, prevent, control, and manage infectious diseases, leveraging food assistance programs, improve land and soil quality, provide care for the vulnerable, awareness campaigns, universal access to all public facilities, migration and mobility of people, social protection programs, employment and asset generation programs. So these are the few parameters which is mentioned under the standards. The purpose of all these parameters, it may not be possible that all these parameters would be applicable to one activity. Out of these almost 20 parameters, there could be possible that 5, 6, 4, 7, 8 parameters would be applicable to one activity of this purpose. And we have to see that what is applicable to them and what is required to be covered. More importantly, like when we see that provision of sufficient, nutritionally adequate, wholesome and safe food. Like you must have heard about the ISKCON. ISKCON is feeding about 15 lakhs of school students all over the country every day, midday meal, with the help of the government. Now they are providing sufficient, nutritionally adequate. They are having highly skilled, technically built kitchens from where they prepare the food, carried in some hygienic conditions, and provide that food to the children. Similarly, advocacy, advisory services, awareness campaigns to eradicate hunger, poverty at all, malnutrition. So you have to target certain areas where you can see that how can we do this. Yesterday only I was watching a channel where they were showing something about the new startups. And I was seeing about a person who was a Delhi IIT graduate, and he left his job, went back to his hometown in Bihar, and started a concept in the name of Dehat. You can Google it and you will also come to know what is Dehat. In that scheme, what they are trying to do with the farmers, that from their requirement from seeds to the cultivation of their crops, including soil testing, including funding, including what should be sown, what should not be sown, what is the good food according to the soil testing. They are providing all kind of services. And now, as of now, they have roughly about 25 lakh farmers associated with them across the country. So there, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that there should be a willingness to do something, and I think you can do it. In NGOs, you need a passion. Similarly, when some NGOs are approaching me, I try to give them as much as support I can. Of course, charging a nominal professional fee. Because free में कुछ नहीं देना चाहिए. Then you are useless. But charging something is okay as compared to your cost. If you can give them some good service and guide them properly, that is a part of your social obligation, which we try to do. So key metrics for evaluation of project program. So basically there are two things into every activity. One is the input input is nothing but the funds, the manpower, the raw material, the man hours, the resource opportunity consideration, physical assets. I mean, you are providing them the funds. Or like I was associated with a one of the NGOs who were providing, I mean, they identified some villages in Hazaribagh, Chhattisgarh. They educated them about the production of what do you call this, mushrooms. So they gave them training, they gave them raw material, how to produce it, and finally they took the produce from them at some price. We paid them. Thereby, I mean, in about just by 10 by 10 feet room, you could earn about 5 to 6,000 rupees a month, which in a remote place is a handsome amount to improve their financial inclusion, to improve their financials of the house, for their education of their children, for their health. I mean, money makes everything possible. So that is where you are looking for certain inputs, which when you provide them inputs, and output is like provision of food, livelihood, hygiene, and health. So by giving them output, like in that case, for which I give an example, you took their produce and give them cash. Similarly, in some other areas, you can be providing them some food, you can be providing them some jobs, you can provide them some hygiene and health, you can provide them some equality in the program group and in the population. For example, in hygiene and health, I am associated with one more NGO called Pinkish Foundation. They are basically into providing sanitary napkins to the adolescent girls in schools and villages at most of the certain backward areas. They are distributing more than 10 to 20 lakhs of these sanitary napkins and providing them hygiene and health through this process. They have already got registered with the SSC. They have already got the in principle approval for their IPO. We are preparing for their IPO now. So these kind of outputs, we have to find out that what is the output against the input provided to such activity. I am talking more on this standard because all the other standards are quite same, except that it will be a specific with relation to that particular activity. Assessment of evaluation criteria. Then once you do this input and output, then you do the assessment. Evaluation of efficiency of resource utilization, total resources and their impact values, input and output analysis, social benefits, project efficiency, sustainability program, negative consequence of the program, trade-off between socially desirable outcomes and cost effectiveness. So here we see the impact by doing the assessment. One is the output, which is visible by numbers, that how many people have got benefited, how many of them got the jobs, how many of them got the skills. Impact is one step more. That is how much it has impacted their life. And there is one more step, that is outcome. Outcome is that how much that person is changing the life of that locality or the society or the community at large. So there are 4 steps: input, output, impact, and outcome. As the I mean, you must have studied while doing examination for social audit purpose. Assessment of evaluation criteria, this we have studied. Effective date, these will not yet any date has been decided because that will be notified by the SEBI. And social audit report. The social audit report should entirely contain the following information regarding the program, project, location where social audit has been conducted, the purpose and objectives of the social audit, period covered in social audit, scope of social audit, stakeholders involved, project for which social audit has been conducted, process followed in carrying out social audit. Now that process carrying out in social audit, there are a lot of things which is required to be done. We will look into that also, for which social audit has been conducted, and key observations from that analysis. List of supporting documents has to be maintained for your, like we maintain our records for our financial audit, same thing is required here also, and recommendations for the improvements. In this case, the beauty of this is that you are commenting on the activities of the NGOs, which is not there under financial audit or cost audit. You are just simply fulfilling the requirement under the Companies Act. Here, you are looking into each activity of the NGO, how much money you have collected, out of that, how much money has been allocated for each activity, how much impact it has made, whether it has been impactful or not, and if it is not impactful, what improvements can be done. All such comments will be forming part of your social impact report. So this was all about first standard. Now, second standard is social audit standard on promoting healthcare, including mental health care, sanitation, and making available safe drinking water. So any activity like you are having certain water availability, or having some shauchalayas, toilets for sanitation, or doing some healthcare activities like there was one more NGO which approached me that they are taking care of old aged persons having dementia problems. So they are taking care of such people. So there are, I mean, a number of activities which we do not know, but a lot of social activities are going on. You see, as there is a government website called Darpan, in which about 1.60 lakhs NGOs are registered. So this number I'm talking about the registered NGOs on Darpan. Apart from that, the expected number of NGOs is more than 50-60 lakhs. So you can assume that how much work in these NGO sector is going on. Now, this social audit standard deals with the thematic dimension of promoting healthcare, including mental health care, sanitation, and making available safe drinking water in the context of appraising social intent and social outcome and impact for a social enterprise. The objective of the standard is to provide guidance to social auditors for planning, conduct, and reporting of finding of the social impact assessment. The objective is common, except that your dimension is different here. Here, you are focusing on promoting healthcare, including mental health care. From that angle, you have to change your documentation, your system of analyzing the system, the activity, your questionnaire. Like when you collect the data for that purpose, you need to format certain questionnaires which can be given to those beneficiaries who have taken benefit out of it to take their feedback. You can go to that village ask generally about the people that this NGO is taking this activity, what do you say about this activity? So this is basically a field job. It is just not on papers, right? So this requires, if you are doing this very genuinely, you need to spend some time where the activity has been carried out. And even the NGOs are also required to keep documentation of each such activity. Like suppose they are conducting seminar, the list of seminars, date of seminars, place of seminars, how many people have attended those seminars or programs. Then whether you have distributed certain pamphlets, whether you have taken up feedback from them. All these things are part of the documentation, which will help in your conducting the social audit. This standard should be applied to social impact assessment report by social auditors, same interpretation, same collection. Now, with respect to this requirement, evaluation of social impact, you have to identify who are the stakeholders in this program. When we talk about the program under the social, since you all know about what do you mean by the program, that is an activity for the social purpose. So stakeholders are those whose dimensions of interest encompass hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and equality, or those whose actions and activities materially affect the same, and who possesses information relevant for social impact assessment, resources, and expertise required for strategy formulation and implementation for eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition, inequality. Now, who are the key stakeholders? Who could be the key stakeholders? It could be the program or the beneficiaries, elected representatives of the grams, panchayat, or the local bodies like sarpanch, etc., because you are conducting these programs in some remote villages. There will be certain government officials at the local level, then civil society organizations, some local organizations might also be there. You can take the help of the media in covering up those programs, and there could be a national or state level funding agency who will be funding this program. So data collection and analysis, there are a number of tools that can be selected to collect and analyze data for social impact assessment. Social auditor may look at the supply side data information from the government or the service providers. So when the government is giving them funds, or they are getting some data from different sources, that data can be sourced from there. Demand side means the users who are using that service. So what is the data they have collected? That will come from those people. The primary and secondary data for the purpose of social impact may be collected by the following methods. The primary data is focus group interview. As I said, the beneficiaries, we have to take their interviews. We can form a questionnaire. We can make a case study, an in-depth interview. I mean, we can go to only one family or one person and make a case study out of that. Secondary data will be from the other sources, which is not directly taking up with that activity, like articles or reports published in the newspapers just to see the comparison, right? Information from digital and public libraries, internal progress review reports of particular agencies, project program to be audited. So these are the secondary sources from where you have to collect the data, and by analyzing all these primary data and secondary data, you have to come out with that evaluation. So evaluation parameters, like in the previous standards, we saw about 20 parameters. Same is the here also with respect to that particular activity. If you see the parameters, all of them are connected with this social standard 2, that is health related or sanitization related or water related. So availability, location and capacity of medical institutions in that area. Provision of required equipment. क्या वहाँ पे equipment चाहिए? Please, I'm stopping here for the moment. You can ask any questions if you have any questions in your mind, as and when you want. Don't wait till the end. Any questions till now? Then I will resume. It should not be a one-way lecture. If you have any questions in your mind, please ask. Yes, please. Any questions?
Nothing, sir. Now can go ahead.
Okay, because it becomes monotonous, so I wanted to have a break. So we were talking about evaluation parameters for this particular standard. So we were discussing about what are the medical institutions available, what could be the equipment or facilities required for that activity, whether you have mobile healthcare units for that provision has been made or not, what is the financial assistance required for these healthcare units, special healthcare drives. Another startup, as I gave an example of Dehat, there was another person who has made a startup during the COVID period in the name of Hanuman. I think that was in Kanpur or Lucknow somewhere. And what they were doing, that they were providing only the ambulance services. And it was just not the ambulance service. They were understanding the requirement of the patient, that which kind of patient it is, so that the ambulance equipped with that kind of doctor or the facilities inside the ambulance can be provided. They helped lakhs of people during the COVID period. And this is a great work done by that NGO. So health camps organized, we see that a lot of health camps are being organized, like donation, this blood donation and all other things. Cost of healthcare tests, treatments, quality of healthcare, access to healthcare facilities. Like in Delhi, we have this Mohalla clinic earlier and now in a different name. And this Ayush scheme by the central government. Beneficiary profile, geographical and regional coverage, sanitation and hygiene levels, management of waste and its disposal, equitable access and distribution of healthcare, sanitation and safe drinking water. Leveraging new technologies and IT, how the new technology and IT can be used. Like right now, we saw a lot of water distributors having RO plants at public places. Application guidance, same key metrics, inputs and outputs, same inputs like in the other one. And output is in terms of with particularly to this, that how much provision for food has been made, how many people have got salaries in this sector, what hygiene and health has been provided to the community, what equality it has brought in the program group in the or in the population. So assessment of evaluation criteria, social impact, finally the social audit report, which is made after doing all this analysis, identification, data collection, and making the final report along with your recommendations. Okay, so as I said, that format is more or less same, except that your focus is different. Now, in the social audit standard 3, this is on promoting education, employability, and livelihoods. You might have heard of a name in education, Ekal Foundation. I do not know how many of you know about it. It's a part of RSS organization, Samarth Shiksha Samiti. They are running about 1 lakh schools across the country. Small schools having about 15 to 30 students in small villages. They are following a statement made by Swami Vivekananda ji, who said that if a child cannot reach the school, let the school reach them. Meaning thereby कि जहां पे बच्चा स्कूल नहीं जा सकता, उस बच्चे के पास उस स्कूल को ले जाओ. On that footnote, this activity is going on. They take 30,000 rupees per school for adopting one school from a donor. And you get feedback also from that school about the activity, about the photo, about something being done by that school. And you can visit also that particular school. And you know that what school has been attached with your donation. So you can go there and see the program going on in that particular school. A local person, a little bit educated, say 10th or 12th person, who becomes the teacher and collects those students who are not being able to go to the schools. They are laundering here and there, engaging in some other useless works. So on the one hand, they are bringing such children under this concept. They are making them educated, and they are making them by some education so that they do not indulge in some bad activities. So once they get education, they can go to some schools. It will give them the employment and the livelihood later on. That is the outcome of that social activity. So social audit standards deals with the thematic dimensions of promoting education, employability, and livelihoods. The social intent has to be this for this purpose. Okay. Now, next is objectives. Is same, except your thematic dimension is different. The scope is also same. Requirement evaluation is also same, like program beneficiaries, which is there in every activity. Elected representative Gram Panchayat, that is also there in the previous one. Government officials, same. Civil society organizations, same. Media, same. National state level funding agency. So there is no difference between the key stakeholders. They are the same stakeholders in more or less every activity. Then the next exercise is data collection analysis. That is also the same exercise, except the methodology, which you have to change according to the requirement. Right? So there are many tools that can be selected to collect and analyze data for social impact. The social auditor may look at supply side data and demand side data. Same. Primary data, again, focus group interviews, questionnaire, case study, in-depth interview. Secondary data is also the same, which we discussed in the previous one. A visit to the area where project activity was implemented would it provide the key information, real life understanding, facilitate physical verification, and getting a sense of the project program. Right? Evaluation parameters Again, there are about 20 parameters for this particular segment, but things remain the same. Only the idea is changing here. The questions information for social impact assessment should inter-beneficiary enrolled, registered, different categories of learners, learners who have successfully passed the course, learners who were placed in jobs. Like a lot of money has been spent by the government in skill development programs. There is, I think, a huge budget of more than 10,000 crores or maybe 20,000 crores earmarked for skill development activities, which is being conducted by a lot of organizations. They get paid from the government for doing this exercise. They are training them for them. And by training them, they are being, I mean, everybody will not be placed because looking at the availability or supply of the site, the demand is less. But still, at least 50%, 20%, 40%, 60% are able to get some employment. The fee charged, how much fee should be charged? This is another area. Like I have been recently been approached by an institution who are conducting a lot of educational programs. They said that everything is funded by the government as of now, but government wants that they should be self-sufficient. But as of today, whatever the programs, so the educational degrees, graduation degrees or other training programs that they are conducting, they do not know how much money should be charged. So being a cost accountant also and being the social impact assessors, it serves both the purpose. So they are looking for a person who can identify the cost involved in taking one assignment, one course, so that accordingly what fee should be charged from a student that should so that they become self-sufficient. So from that angle, we have to see that what is the fee charged, how many of them are getting skilled, how many of them are getting placed. This is all about this program. Remuneration paid to the teachers, total expenditure incurred on a program, teachers trainees ratio, facilities for education and skill development, curriculum relevance, hostel facilities, target population segment, infrastructure available, process of admission, examination, financial assistance available to education institution, facilities for extracurricular activities, career counseling sessions, special lectures, guest lectures, job opportunities and employability, interpersonal skill development. So these are the things, areas where you have to focus during your social impact assessment. Same matrix, inputs and outputs, right? I think this is wrongly worded here, provision of food. This should have been for the previous one. Copy paste problem. Okay, but this is the standard released by the institute. If somebody is listening, they can, from the institute, they can change this output from here. Assessment of evaluation criteria. So evaluation of efficiency of resource utilization, total resources. I mean, this is no change in this. It is same thing is mentioned here. Effective date, as I said, it will be done later on. Once it is notified by the CME. So moving to the next, which is the last one for today. Social audit standards on promoting gender equality, empowerment of women and LGBTQIA plus communities. This is more on page 3 nowadays. This promoting gender equality or empowerment of women, Nari Shakti, and LGBT issues, the communities, quite in limelight nowadays. So objectives remain the same, except that focus is here. Scope is also same. Requirements is also same. Stakeholders is also same. Data collection analysis system is also same. Supply side and demand side. Primary and secondary data for the purpose of social impact may be collected by the following methods. Again, methodology is also more or less same. A visit to the area. This is important. It is written in every standard, but this is important, right? Because unless and until you physically go there and see what is gone, what has been done, then only you will be able to know that whether something has been done or not. Evaluation parameters. Here, the only change in all these standards is evaluation parameters, right? The question information for social impact assessment. Now, what could be the question or information that should be gathered for this standard? Is health, education, information, other services, level of community participation, financial assistance, participation in decision making, program for inclusion, social economic improvement, employment programs, women in education, women in employment, women in leadership positions, inclusive work practices, literacy gap, discriminatory law and practices, sensitization program conducted, and counseling and legal support, women empowerment, violence against women, poverty eradication programs, effective use of media, technology, advanced techniques, that is for promoting equality, and rehabilitation of women and LGBTQIA+. So as I was giving an example of Hazaribagh village for promoting mushroom as a agri activity, it was also targeting only the women folk of that particular village, because the chains are going to the farms doing their own activity, agri activity. But the women at home, what they will do? They don't have anything to do. So this was more designed towards the women. These women were trained and were helped in producing the mushrooms in their house. 10 by 10, every village, every person can afford to have a 10 by 10 room in their house. And you will not believe it, but around more than 500 women have already taken benefit out of it. If this kind of activity is being carried out everywhere, the results will be unbelievable. A lot of other activities can be done. So from social audit standards point of view, we have to see that what activity has been done, and relating to that activity only, we have to identify the issues which we need to examine, on the basis of which we have to prepare the report. As I said, input, output, impact, and outcome. For each activity, we have to generate this report on these 4 parameters. Right? Input, again, I'm repeating, basically means that what has been put into the system for that activity by way of skilling them, by way of giving them funds, by way of giving them some raw material, like in certain artisan activities, they provide some clothes or some jute material to make some artisan products, and which those artisan products are again procured by such NGOs and sell them, and they share that money with these artisans. So these kind of, for each activity, you will, once you enter into that activity, you will automatically come to know that what should be your evaluation parameters. Only thing is that you have to go a little bit deep dive into that system. Then only you will be able to understand that what activity is going on and how you can measure that activity, which will help you in generating the social impact report. So this is all about these social standards from 1 to 4, for which the today's topic was assigned to me. And I'm although a little bit early in finishing this activity. And now we can have an open discussion on any issue if you want to discuss anything.
Sirji, good evening.
Good evening.
See, unfortunately, my internet was so bad. I was going off and coming back. So I could not completely have a knowledge of whatever you have taught so far. But anyway, I was requesting him to send me the recording if possible. Secondly, my question is, this NSE, SSC, that is Social Stock Exchange and NSE, can we
Yes.
get the list of companies registered there?
Yes, yes. You just type on Google NSE SSC.
Correct. Then I
Type
will
on
unmute
Google
that site
NSE
there.
SSE. It will take you to SSC. And there also, if you go to a point, you will find the list of registered NGOs. It is there.
No,
It is available on
where
both
I will-
BSc and NSC both.
Correct. In NSA, I am not able to get that list there. Actually, there are so many columns coming, but I am unable to see the list of forms registered there.
No, it is there. You can let me know
Okay.
earlier. I mean, let me see if I can take you there online.
Taking, I think whether we can approach those companies for the social audit.
The
Otherwise,
social
how do we
audit
get the
is
business?
required. Otherwise, also as for the CSR activities undertaken by them.
So today the MCA has issued a notification that CSR funds can be transferred to these companies registered with
Correct.
SSC,
So,
and then they
like I
need not
said,
pay
that we
this
were
money.
preparing for the IPO of the NGOs. So far, till this notification, the CSR funds were not allowed to subscribe these IPOs of the NGOs. Now, with this notification, it is allowed. Now, I'm going to the NSE website. I do not know how to share this online, but I've gone on this NSE website. NSE, you have to just type out, if you are on your system, just type out NSE SSE. Then go to that website. Then you will see that onboarding process, public issues emerge, threat instrument. Then niche social stock exchange, about SSC, eligibility criteria, benefits of registration, registered NGOs. जहाँ पे ये लिखा हुआ है registered NGOs, there you have to click, and from there you will get the list of the NGOs registered on the NSD. Okay. Any other question?
So when you're talking about the IPO, are we talking about the for the zero coupon zero?
ZCZB.
Yeah,
Zero coupon, zero discount.
yeah, that is what
debentures.
we mean by that, no?
Right, right.
So it's open to normal investors, sorry,
It's open to all the
donors.
public. It's open to all.
Okay, and
Anybody,
10%
even
of
once you can
CSR,
donate even 1,000 rupees also.
yeah, and 10% CSR funds now.
Yeah,
A cap
10% of
of
that
maximum.
company. 10%. Suppose a company is entitled, I mean, they are required to spend, say, 2 crores. Out of that 2 crores, 20 lakhs of money can be utilized for subscribing to such IPOs.
Thank you, sir.
So, any other questions?
I have a question. When we submit the report and we find that there is some problems with it and we provide the feedback. So what is the timeline to again go back and check whether the feedback has been implemented?
Yeah, as an auditor, our job is to report the matter. Like a financial auditor, he is giving comments, adverse comments in the report. Now, whether that report has been rectified, adverse comments has been rectified by the company or not, that is not the outlook of the social impact assessment. It is up to the NGO to make certain corrections in their working, because since it is listed on the website of the NSE, and all the public at large will have an access to that. And once the people know that the company, this NGO is not doing well, there are a lot of hanky-pankies going on, then who will donate them any money? So it will affect them very badly. So therefore, nobody would like to do something which is not in line with the requirements.
Okay, thank you.
So I think there are no more questions. So anybody from ICMI SAO?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
So we can close this session here, and I'm really thankful to all the participants who have joined here. And let's try to do our bit. Let's hope that we can do something for our, as a profession, we are also doing something for the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking the session. It was a really informative session to everyone. And thank you to all participants for your participation for today's session. I especially thanks to CMA Yogesh Gupta, sir, for this program. Thank you. And thank you
Thank
to
you.
all.
Thank you.